right, we want to get back now to the latest in the update on that inmate who died in JSO custody. We first brought you this story last Tuesday, I should say, about the Duval County Jail incident, which led to the death of 31-year-old Charles Faggart. Now, according to police records, he was arrested April 1st in regards to a domestic incident. Then on Tuesday, the 8 corrections officers and an arresting sergeant were removed from their positions pending an investigation. Faggart was pronounced dead last Thursday.
And tonight, Riley Phillips is joining us live outside of the jail now with more on what happened inside that jail today. So, and that day it all happened. So, Riley, what did you learn from the report?
Yes, first thing, this report is heavily redacted, and the attorney for Charles Faggart, his family, released a statement saying they are angry and frustrated by this. We still don't know the full picture about what happened to Faggart, the injuries he sustained and how he got them. But we do know this incident spanned 2 hours, and it appears he was restrained for most of it. We're getting a first look at what happened inside the Duval County Jail that led to the death of 31-year-old Charles Faggart. The incident report starts at 7:04 the morning of April 7th. The report states Faggart was being escorted to a dorm by 3 corrections officers and a sergeant while displaying aggressive and erratic behavior. He was deemed a threat to himself and others and placed in a restraint safety chair, but he could not be secured because he was thrashing his body. First Coast News crime and safety analyst Mark Bachman says the restraint chair is usually used to gain control of an inmate who might be combative.
When you have correctional officers there, they're not armed. The force multiplier for them is to have more people to help restrain them. Once they can restrain the limbs, the legs and the arms, you pretty much got control of the body or the head.
At 7:07, Faggart was finally secured in the restraint chair and a spit mask was placed on him. Less than 20 minutes later, at 7:24, the jail's mental health director evaluated Faggart. According to the report, Faggart said he did fentanyl, and the mental health director deemed him fit for self-harm housing. At 7:28, a nurse medically evaluated Faggart and deemed him medically fit to remain in the restraint chair. About an hour later, the report states the mental health director and another nurse evaluated Faggart, but the results are redacted. Between 8:42 and 8:48, 11 corrections officers arrived on scene along with medical staff, but information from the medical staff has been redacted. At 8:50, Faggart was removed from the restraint safety chair and escorted to a cell. What happened between 8:51 and 8:55 has also been redacted, but at some point, officers are told to place Faggart back in the restraint chair and a spit mask is also put back on him.
Typically what they're trying to do is they're not trying to hurt him, or at least they shouldn't be trying to hurt him, but something more happened here, it looks like, and it's not delineated in that report.
Then at 9:05, Jacksonville Fire and Rescue arrives on scene, and at 9:10, Faggart is placed on a stretcher while JFRD performs chest compressions. Faggart is then taken to the hospital. The report ends there. Bachman says he was not surprised to see the report largely redacted, given the fact that multiple agencies are now involved in the investigation.
There may be some supplemental reports that are being generated that we don't have yet, and maybe they're not been generated yet, partially because I'm thinking there may be some criminal charges either on the state or federal level. Now you have 2 agencies involved.
And the sheriff's office says they redacted this report to protect the investigation, the integrity of the investigation. The attorney for Faggart's family says they were not given any notice that this report was being released, and they are devastated by the narrative that is being presented to the public. Live in downtown Jacksonville, Riley Phillips, First Coast News, on your side.